The initial round of formatting is complete for our 3 layouts. Of course, there's my desktop layout. There's how it's there, of course. My medium resolution layout. I should be using this terminology, not device-related terminology. And then, of course, the low resolution layout or look and feel that we have happening here. I should show you too, by the way, just while I think of it, how my footer turned out. This is how my footer looks for my low resolution media query. What I tried to do here, and again, I'm not 100% sure that I'm successful here or not, but I wanted to keep the size of the text just a little bit larger, as you can see here. So again, I'm imagining someone viewing this on some kind of a very low-res handheld device. And as you can see, the font size decreases with the other 2 media queries. Anyway, so that's what I wound up with. In the next handful of exercises, we're going to be throwing graphics into our layout. And this is really going to be bringing everything to life, which is great. And there's really kind of 2 components. We're going to be throwing the graphics in, but we're also going to be getting those graphics under the control of CSS as well. So you're going to see lots of neat little cool tricks for achieving this. And in this initial exercise, I want to take care of our header across the top. He's been neglected for the last little while, so I want to get a graphic into his background, and I also want to get our site's logo in there as well. So that's what we're going to go and do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go after the background on the header first. I'm going to head into my external style sheet, and I'm going to start off inside my high-resolution media query, which of course is all the way down towards the bottom of my external style sheet. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to find his header, his redefined header element. And right now we have that temporary gray background applied to this guy. Well, rather than specifying an RGB color value, what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify a graphic. If you've never done this before, here's how you do it. First of all, select the R, G, and B and the 3 color values all the way down to the closing parenthesis, and you can hit delete on your keyboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in URL, and then in brackets, what I'm going to do, regular brackets, by the way, curvy brackets, what I'm going to do is specify the path to the graphic that I want to use. Now, let me slow down here and explain this. I'm just going to hide my code for a second, and I'm going to hide my browser and go all the way down to my desktop. There's my project files folder. So these are the 2 files that we've been working inside of throughout the majority of this series here together. So right now I'm inside styles.css. The graphic that I want to use is a graphic called headerbg.jpg. And for myself at least, both the graphic that I want to use and the external style sheet reside in the same directory. This makes creating the path to the file super easy, really, really straightforward. So all I need to do, quite literally, is type in the name of the graphic that I want to use. If on your end you have subdirectories and things like this, it gets a little bit more complicated. You have to remember to specify the names of those subdirectories. But at least for myself here, I've gone background :space URL, and then in brackets, I'm literally just going to type in here header BG, being careful of my capitalization, by the way, .jpg. That's it. Go ahead and save your external style sheet and head back to your browser and refresh, and you should now get this red background color appearing there. However, don't forget that we have media queries at play here. So as soon as the browser window scales down to the next, again, that threshold there down to the next media query, we're back to that temporary background color. So in other words, this change that you and I have made to the background for our header needs to be applied to the other 2 media queries. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the entire property and his value. So background :space URL all the way down to the closing semicolon there. Grab all of that, and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm simply going to scroll up into the medium resolution media query. I'm going to look for his header and specifically his background with the temporary gray, and you guessed it, I'm going to paste. And I'll do that one more time for the low resolution media query as well. There's his background right there. And I'll go ahead and paste. Perfect. Go ahead and save, and we can head back to the browser and refresh. There we go. There's that same background color, that same red texture, if you will, inside all 3 media queries, all 3 layouts. Now, while we're at it, let's go and insert the logo into our header as well. And we'll finish off the header and then jump into the rest of the layout. So This time what I'm going to do, it's going to be a little bit different here. We aren't going to specify the logo via CSS as we did with the background texture for the header. The logo himself is going to be inserted into the structure of the document. In other words, the HTML. So hopefully you still have index.html kicking around somewhere. And I'm going to look for his header, and I'm going to drop my cursor in there, and here's what I'm going to type in. Open angle bracket, img, space src equals, and then in quotes, the name of the graphic that I want to use. The name of the graphic is in fact logo.png, like so. So again, the difference here is that we're inserting this guy into the structure of the HTML itself. Don't forget to close your quote and close your angle bracket. That should be it for us. Go ahead and save your work and head back to your browser and refresh, and voila, there's our fictitious karate school's logo now appearing in the top corner. And because he's specified in the structure, he shows up in all of our media queries across all of our devices. Perfect. Good stuff. All right, so there's the header complete. Looks wonderful. Now let's go after our slideshow.